Welcome to the weekly spark from Ignite Youth Group out of Eastgate Baptist Church, where we try to keep Christianity on fire in a world that tries to snuff it out.
Happy Teen Spark Day! I hope you're having a great week. Today we are going to talk about God's kindness. So we know the attribute of God being good, benevolent, the things that he does for us, he's good to us. We know the attribute of God's mercy, not giving us what we do deserve, right? And then we know the attribute of grace, God's grace, God giving us unmerited favor, God giving us something that we don't deserve, the grace that God gives. But today I want to talk about how God is kind to us. He isn't just merciful or gracious or benevolent good, he is kind to us. And so the definition I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about kindness of God goes with our verses, and that is disposed to do good to others, having tenderness or goodness of nature, and then definitely benevolent, but not in a way that where you would be kind to others. We are kind to others because our God is kind to us, right? So an example of God being kind to us is Nehemiah 9:17, and the Israelites have just come out of captivity and they're headed back to Israel, and they've got to rebuild so much, and they've got to rebuild their lives and their temple, and so much has to be done, right? And in Nehemiah 9:17 it says, and refused to obey, neither were mindful of thy wonders that thou didst among them. So the Israelites had completely messed up, right, with the Lord, as I keep reading, but hardened their necks, and in their rebellion appointed a captain to return to their bondage. But thou art a God ready to pardon. So amidst all of their struggles and all of their disobedience and having to now try to get back and rebuild after captivity, God is ready to forgive them of their sinfulness. And it says, gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and forsooketh them not. God never left Israel. He was of great kindness to Israel in the midst of all of the things that they brought upon themselves during the captivity. God was kind to Israel. In the Old Testament, the word chesed, I believe is how it's said, in Hebrew, that Hebrew word has the idea of kindness, loyal love, favor, or goodness. It is translated mercy often in the King James Bible in English. So in Exodus 34:7, it says, keeping chesed for thousands, mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and fourth generation. God is kind and he pardons, he forgives iniquity, but he also still allows consequences. God is just, that's an attribute we've already learned about, and because of that, his justice works alongside his kindness to make sure that no sin is condoned, and justice punishes unto the third and fourth generation in this verse, right? The offenders because of their offense, right? God's mercy and God's kindness, God's justice, they all work together, and consequences come from sin, right? And that can be encouraging when we know that somebody has offended us, that God is going to take care of it for us. He is our judge. In Psalm 57:10 it says, for thy chesed, thy mercy, is great unto the heavens, and thy truth unto the clouds. In the New Testament, we see God's kindness as well. In Luke 6:35, it says, "But love ye your enemies, and do good and lend, hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great. And ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil." Again, when someone has wronged you, don't get bitter. Forgive them. Move forward, because God is kind to the unthankful and to the evil. And God has called you to something higher, right? To do good, to love your enemies, and to lend, hoping for nothing again. That truly is the hardest, is to love someone who will not maybe even love you back, who will never be of benefit to you, and yet your love, your kindness, your forgiveness is a gift that you give to them. In Ephesians 4:32, it says, "And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you." We see God's kindness in that he forgives us. And we see that he forgives us because he's asked us to forgive other people. We see that God is kind because he is kind to the unthankful, and he's asked us to be kind to the unthankful. And in 1 Peter 2:3, it says, "If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious." That's the same word. It's translated gracious. In other places, it's translated kindness. God has been gracious. God has been kind to us. We have tasted it. So I encourage you, go out and be kind to others, just like your God has been kind to you. I love you. I hope you have a great week.